Welcome to Akhand Vidya Show, the first institute of impeccable wisdom, the walking, talking encyclopedia. Bhastrika, Enhanced External Counter Pulsations. My mission, the impeccable wisdom, knowing which everything is fully known. My greatest discovery, Divyan, the divine design of nature, with which the perfect objects are designed. Divyank is the reward of 60 years of integrated education. Impeccable wisdom is enlightening, and integrated knowledge is empowering. Enhanced external counter pulsations. I have shown this particular picture. I'm not going to describe how they go about it, but let me explain the concept, what exactly is being done in this particular case. I do not want to go into the different indication possibilities. But core in core, I would like to keep one thing in mind. If you want to avoid congestion of coronary arteries and be free from diabetes and other problems which can lead to congestion and give you problem for heart attack, infarction or otherwise later. I would stick only to that side and say how that can be countered with the help of Bhastrika, how the principles are same. All you need to modify is change a little bit here. Now, as you see in this particular picture, the design of the bottle bed on which the patient lies down, where you contract certain muscle objects on the legs. You can see 1, 2, 3 calf muscles, lower abdomen and upper abdomen. And then what happens thereafter? So as you make the person lie down, after checking everything, pressure is increased into calf muscles. And it is also said calf muscles are the second heart, not the first heart. First heart is heart, second heart is this. Only when you transfer the blood from calf muscles to the heart, it is important. If it does not do, you are going to have a lot of heart problems. So retention or bringing blood back from legs into the heart and circulation to be 24/7 perfect, it should be the objective of every human being. So the idea of this particular thing is, come what may, thou shalt not have any congestion in the legs at all. We should not suffer from any problem where there is a congestion. Blood should come back to the heart perfectly. Blood of 61.8 and solids that way should be maintained, and thou shalt have no problem whatsoever. So when the patient lies down on this particular bed, you can see the legs portion is on the high side, and when first thing is done is contracting the muscles of the calf muscles, make the second heart pump blood back to the heart. You can see when it is pressed, you can see a congestion right up to that pressure, and then blood goes up. After that, the congestion is done to the second part, as you can see, which are lower legs. But the focus goes higher. At the third level, it is on the higher level when blood pushed up to the heart once again. What exactly you make out with this particular project is done. So you literally increasing the venous return pressure back to the heart with a much higher pressure than you are normally used to. Venous pressure at this level is very low, and by slowly increasing like this, you can go increase it almost like 300 millimeter of blood. When so much of blood with so much of pressure is pushed, is going to cleanse all the coronary arteries and cleanse them off fully. First contraction of one part, second part and third part you can see, and after that there is a relaxation. No more contraction takes place. First the blood is going towards the heart, then blood from there comes down to the legs. You can see it very clearly. Relaxation is there, is being pushed up. When relaxation is gone, blood is coming back. So when the circulation is going like this and blood is returning to the heart completely once for all, effectively, efficiently, they're going to be cleansing of all the blood vessels, whether you have venous sites, your arterial sites, whether you're coronary, systemic, pulmonary, otherwise. If once that is done, all the plaques are reduced from the internal artery and blood flow becomes perfectly all right. And with this procedure itself, we can avoid angiography and angioplasty. Tachycardia, Kundalini syndrome, I explained in my earlier few weeks. This is applied part again. To reduce that with the help of pranayam, which I call Bhastrika, we can achieve these objectives step by step in such a way that we can avoid all the congestions, all the blocks in coronary arteries, and keep them as vibrant as possible rest of life without any problem. I don't think this kind of video has ever been made by anyone, but this has been my concentration. But let me explain to you how exactly this particular thing happened. Way back in 2008, I had come to Chennai to attend one of the functions, and one person took me to one of the hospitals in Chennai to show me what is done because he had got it done. Looking at that, I found it interesting. That's how I studied. And when I was in Chettinad Hospital, we did a workshop on this and understood what exactly it is. But as I was understanding this, I realized same kind of concept it can be executed with Bhastrika pranayam itself. There are so many possibilities are there. With Bhastrika pranayam as such, this how I modified, how I used it, that I'm 1,000 times better over a period is also something which I like to explain in this particular video. So one thing is very clear, Bhastrika is one of the pranayams which is important. Enhanced external counter pulsation is a thing which modern science has put as a naturopathy to remove blocks without any angiography, angioplasty and other things, and getting the benefit of natural therapy, product and ancient Indian wisdom in that light. With the modification we can do it, we can avoid all these problems without any problem whatsoever. From that angle, this particular project or description is being explained. Having explained this particular concept with which enhanced external counter pulsations work, what kind of equipment is there, what kind of pressure is there, how the blood venous return pressures increase up to 300 millimeter, and as the pressure returns, concentration can go up and they can slowly and steadily wash over a period. If you can continue to develop Bhastrika pranayam along with Kapalabhati and other things, I can assure you, you should have no problem for the rest of your life. And that is why pranayam is one of the part of Akhand Sutra, one of the 10 steps. Very, very important. And this is one of the things which I would like everybody to understand. Now, Bhastrika enhanced breathing technique. Look at this. Now, to how you start this particular thing, please get tested for every ailment first. I would not like anyone to get into this particular thing when you have any gross problem. But I am talking of prevention of problems rather than inhaling or reducing the problems of people who are already suffering. My advice is not meant for people who are suffering. My advice is meant only for people who are not suffering from physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, other blocks. They are not under drugs, they are not under alcohol, they are not smoking, they are not taking any other thing which they should not be taking. They are pure vegetarian, things like that. For them, it is the optimum. So first thing, get tested that you do not have any problem which could create. Then go for a long warming exercises, a standing, whatever it is, so the blood circulation increases and your body temperature increases. Warm up the physical body fully. When you are really warm, relax for some time comfortably. Then sit in Vajrasana, which is sitting posture you can see. You are not sitting on Padmasana, you are not sitting on Sukhasana, you are not sitting on Sadhanasana. And why I am making them sit in that, in the process of this, blood flow to the legs is reduced considerably because you are not going to put them into exercise. So let the amount of blood which in the leg is as little as possible. More is in the abdominal side. From there we are going to push it up to the heart backwards. That is the criteria. So we are going to let the circulating blood in the legs fall down considerably. Please take a deep breath and fill the lungs. See, take deep breath. And then with exhaust, throw it out immediately. Take a deep breath, fill the lungs, then exhaust out the air from the lungs fully in one shot. Very fast in, fast out. Please exhaust out the air from the lungs fully. Please increase the contractions and relaxation alternatively and go on increasing the speed. And over a period, I'm sure it might take 6 months, 1 year, or whatever it is, you can start with 3 concentrations, 3 contractions, 3 relaxation, 5, 10, 15. If you can increase it to 200 times at a stretch and you can still hold it beautifully, thou shalt have no problem is the best test for integration on that. That's why cardiopulmonary functions always go hand in hand with each other. If your pulmonary functions are normal, oxygen content is normal, RBC is normal, hemoglobin is normal, immunity is normal, every aspect of homeostasis will be perfect as ever. From that angle, sitting in this particular posture and then taking deep breath and then throwing it out. Maybe you can even throw your hands up, then bring it down and try to contract the lower abdominal muscles as fast as possible. You can go on increasing and at the stage should look as if your abdomen is just pressing all the organs of the abdomen, pushing all the blood back to the heart. That kind of concentration is required to do in Bhastrika of this particular nature. I'm sure you are able to understand. Blood to the legs is reduced first. You sit comfortably, and Vajrasana is very comfortable to sit. And your backbone is also in straight line. The blood flow can go up. Your venous pressure, inferior vena cava, also will be more effective as the blood from legs to abdomen, abdomen to the heart, to the right atrium increases, and then everything inside will be cleansed over a period. It might take 6 months, 1 year, a couple of years, because you are not doing anything in interference, but you are slowly and steadily increasing over a period. And that is the message which I want to give to everybody. By doing this particular exercise, you are literally creating enhanced breathing techniques, almost counter pulsations. Now you must be an enhanced external counter pulsation because you're creating pulsation which normally is not a process of venous return pressure. But by doing that, you are able to wash it out, cleanse it out, and throw it out, and remove all the plaques one by one over a period. And if your diet is purely vegetarian, you are not drinking, you are not smoking, you are not taking drugs, you are not taking any medicine, period will be shorter, faster, and you will have much more effective results in a much shorter period. So concentrations again, if you want to be a perfect human being in tune with universal consciousness, you got to make sure that you do not have any physical problem, you have no emotional problem, you have no mental problem, you have no religious problem, you have no spiritual problem, we are one with the entire universe. If you are one with the entire universe and you are perfectly vegetarian and have not even single habit which is not part of the living consciousness of herbivorous human beings. We are not carnivorous, we are not herbivorous. We are purely frugal, fructose-based diet, as less sugar as possible, and as concentration natural ingredients, because our system is designed only for fruit, grains, vegetables and things. If you can, concentration is only on that, you can share over a period, have no difficulty in digestion, you have no difficulty in absorption of glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, you will have no difficulty assimilating things to the perfect body's functions, and every angle will be perfect. So from that angle, Bhastrika can be made to suit just like enhanced breathing techniques, counter it, reduce all the blocks and make you as perfect as ever without taking even single medicine for diabetes, hypertension, any of these problems, because they will disappear one by one. Because if blood flow is circulating properly, circulation is good, everything is done, then where the question of being, as long as you're physically active, emotionally stable, mentally alert, doing a lot of intellectual work, even if you are in 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100s, you continue to be very physically active, very relative, and doing intellectual work, You can be perfect from day one to day one. And that is the objective of this particular slide. Having explained that, now let me give you some of the examples which I have spoken. What are the benefits we could get in the process of Bhastrika pranayam being done regularly without going for enhanced external counter pulsations? As I told you, perfect cardiac cycle is very, very important. It is designed with Divyank. Atrial functions will be normal, ventricular function will be normal, coronary arteries will be normal. There will not be any problem whatsoever. And you literally have around 70 beats per minute, continuous, beautiful, very good volume, good tension, good pressure, everything you can feel from the pulse. The advantage with this, you can feel all that with the pulse itself. Pulse itself gives you all the indications about what are the different problems you have. Anyone who can read a pulse properly would know how good is the particular person. From that angle, cardiac cycle will be as perfect as you would expect in any perfectly healthy, perfectly balanced, physically active, emotionally stable, mentally powerful, and universally connected with the entire universe and the God. You are living God in every aspect. That should be the criteria. For that, you got to live like God. You should not have anything which is not a part of human contraction. Cardiac cycle is first gets affected. Heart rate is second thing which gets affected. Second thing is, as I told you, ECG will be as perfect as you want over a period. I told you I had a first panic attack in 1984, 40 years ago. And then I had my heart attack in 2005, which is almost like 18 years plus. Then subsequent, whatever have happened, in spite of all that, I do not have diabetes, I do not have hypertension, my blood pressure is 120/70. Blood sugar is as perfect you would expect in 21 years. My weight is leather, concentration, contemplation, expression, every A to Z, every angle is as good as when you are in 21. My ECG is exactly like this. And one other thing which has helped me is pranayam, which is a part of 10 stages of Akhand Yoga. And that's why all my videos are designed only with my experience. It's not a copy of something else, proven with the kind of evidence which has not been done by any individual otherwise. So, blood pressure 120/70, heart rate 72, perfect is ECG is another, and of course, one thing I never want to forget in my EEG, power spectrum analysis, I am able to produce 8 Hz alpha frequency throughout the brain with eyes open, eyes closed of 8 frequency, and which no one, to the best of my ability as in today, has demonstrated what I have demonstrated. It's exactly the opposite of what neurosciences are talking about. They say eyes closed, occipital region, you get alpha frequency of 10.5 Hz. Very moment you start thinking, open the eyes, it is into beta. Where I am able to produce from 10.5 Hz, bring it down to 8, with eyes open, eyes closed throughout the brain, which has not been done by anybody till date. I've shown it over and over and over. And one other thing which has helped me is Akhand Yoga. And in Akhand Yoga, Yam, Niyam, Yogasana, Pranayam, Pratihara, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, Kundalini Yoga and Antar Yoga have played an important role in making me what I am today, what I am sharing with you. Having explained about blood pressure 120/70, heart rate 70, this ECG, and of course arterial blood pressure I've shown, and this particular thing is just to show, bring your mean arterial blood pressure to 93 millimeters. In the process, all your processes are as good as Divyank. If you can maintain that 24/7, and of course whatever little usual goes within physiological limits is fine. But beyond a particular level should not be done. There should not be allostasis, there should not be pathostasis. That is important for everyone to understand if you want to be perfectly healthy from every angle. This is mean arterial blood pressure of 93. Sympathetic system should come to play only a role when there is an emergency. Parasympathetic system is prime objective is take food, digestion, rest and conservation energy for future use is parasympathetic. And sympathetic is to mobilize that energy in case of emergency. If sympathetic comes only to mobilize energy in case of emergency, wonderful. Autonomy is balanced 24/7. And having rest, digestion, conservation energy as a through process, and designing food in such a way that you can do all the work yourself without need for any individual, which I do. And I think we can do wonders in that. From that angle, now let's go to the next. Next slide is very clear that vagus predominancy should be there. So the fifth level nervous system, which is independent of rest of the brain, which nobody is talking about, is given importance, and it can function 24/7 only when the blood flow to the heart is perfect. Relaxation of the left ventricle is only during relaxation phase. With the rest of the brain can be during systolic, but here during systolic blood pressure is stopped because muscles are tight in the left ventricle, they contract and blood cannot. So reducing heart rate, keeping the blood pressure, the heart rate to around 60 to 70 would be very beneficial, and that is what the objective of this particular pranayam, along with the rest of the pranayam, is. Come what may, your heart will be as perfect as ever as long as you are doing these kind of things systematically every day, part of an integrated approach of Akhand Yoga. And what I am today is only a result of Akhand Yoga. Having explained that, now I come to the first stage. I'm not going to talk much about this because in this particular project everything is accumulated. Western symbol of medical science and Indian symbol of Tantra Vidya, and then improvising with my experience of Akhand Yoga is new symbol can show West Indian and mine is represented. As a result, you should have no problem whatsoever. Having explained that, let me say it has been wonderful sharing my experiences to the best of my ability, and that's it. Thank you very